Hello everyone, myself Kiran Kadkuntla, lecturer, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today we are going to discuss about problems on rectifiers. Before going to the problems, we are going to revise the topics covered in the previous class. We have learned half-wave rectifier. So what is half-wave rectifier? Half-wave rectifier is a one which has single diode, one diode, and it will be having the output for half of the input signal. It may be for the positive half or the negative half. It is dependent upon the placement of the diode. Next, we have learned about full wave rectifier. So in this, the output is present for the full wave of the input signal. That is why it is called as a full wave rectifier. It may have the 2 diode or 4 diode based on the circuits. So in the full wave rectifier, we have two types. One is a full wave center tapped rectifier. One more is a full wave bridge rectifier. Coming to the full wave center tapped rectifier, as its name indicates, it is using the center tapped transformer and it is using the two diodes. In these two diodes, one diode will it is connected in such a way that one diode will be turned on and conduct for the positive half cycle, and one more diode will be conduct and operates for the negative half cycle. Hence, the output will be present for both the half of the input signal. The output will be full wave. Next one is a full wave bridge rectifier. In this, it uses the four diodes. Connected in such a way that two diodes will conduct for the positive half cycle of the input signal and other two diodes will conduct for the negative half cycle of the input signal. So output will be present for the both the half cycle of the input signal. Next, we have learned about the characteristics of rectifiers. In that first ripple factor, so output of the rectifier is not ripple free, it has a ripples. The ripple factor indicates the amount of ripples present in the output of the rectifier. It will be calculated by amount of the AC content to the amount of DC content present in the output of the rectifier. Then we have discussed about the ripple frequency. Ripple frequency means it is the frequency of the output of rectifier. In the half wave rectifier, the ripple frequency will be same as your input frequency, because for each one cycle of input signal, the output will be having the one cycle, one half cycle. It may be a positive or negative. But in case of full wave rectifier, for each one cycle of input signal, the output will be having the two half cycles. That may be positive or negative. So output will be 2f. Next, we have learned about the efficiency. Generally, we know that efficiency means it's output power to the input power. In the rectifier, we know that output power is DC and input power is AC. So efficiency will be calculated as the DC output power of the rectifier to the AC input power provided to the rectifier. Next, peak inverse voltage. It is the maximum reverse voltage that can be withstand by the diode when it is connected in the reverse bias. Next, we are going to learn some basic things which we already learned in the first semester, but it is required in this subject also. That is a root mean square value. Root mean square value is the value which a value of a AC signal which generates a heating effect which is equivalent to the heating effect generated by the DC. Next, the average value or DC value. Average value or DC value of AC signal is the amount of charge transfer equivalent to the DC power. Next one is the maximum or peak value. It is the highest value in the AC signal. So this is the one full wave. This is taken as a one peak value, maximum value, because in a DC will be having the fixed value, whereas in AC we can see that it will be changing its value. So we have different terminologies with respect to the AC. So this is a peak value, means it's a maximum value, that is denoted by VM or VP, and this is the RMS value, that is the root mean square value, and this is the average value or DC value. That means, so whenever we get a peak value of AC signal, it is not equivalent to DC value, because it is average value is or DC value is this. Okay. For full wave, we can use this equations. For RMS value, we can calculate, if we have VM, we can calculate the RM, that is VM by root 2. If you simplify this, it will come out as a 0.707 maximum voltage. We can calculate the average value by using the peak value, that is 2 Vm by pi. If you simplify this, you will get a 0.637 Vm. and this is applicable. These equations are applicable for the full wave. When we are solving the problem or going through the topics, these equations are not suitable for the half wave because it is won't be having the other half. Only it will be having the only one half. Okay. Now we start with the problems on rectifiers. So first one, let's go through the question. It is given as show mathematically that the ripple factor of a bridge rectifier is 0.48 and efficiency is 81.2 percentage. So it is asking the ripple factor of the bridge rectifier, and you want it want to show the prove mathematically that ripple factor of a bridge rectifier is 0.48 and efficiency is 81.2. Just think for a second. Think what are the equation we must use and how we are going to or we have to proceed. Okay, so we'll see what are the prerequisites required to solve this problem. So prerequisites are, we need to understand the equations. What are the equations with respect to the full wave? First, it's the IRMS, that is a root mean square current, and we need to calculate IDC, means DC current, they are the average current. So IRMS equation is Im by root 2, Im is the maximum current, and here IDC can be calculated using the 2 Im by pi. Then we can calculate the ripple factor. So what is the ripple factor equation? Ripple factor is the gamma is equal to square root of IRMS by IDC whole square minus 1. This is the equation of the ripple factor. And to calculate the efficiency, the equation is eta is equal to IDC by IRMS whole square. If you remember these two equations and these two equations, total these four, you can solve this problem. Okay. So let's solve this problem. So this is the solution. This is the equation as we already discussed, square root of IRMS by IDC whole square minus 1. Now, and these are the two equations. Okay, this is taken as equation 1 and these two equations are taken as equation 2 and 3. Okay, so in this you can see that we have a IRMS and IDC, and even we have equivalent values, Im by root 2 and 2 Im by pi. We have to substitute these two values in this equation. Okay, so this is the, here we are substituted those two equations. It is Im by root 2 divided by 2 Im by pi whole square minus 1. If we simplify, that is Im will get cancelled. This denominator of the denominator goes to the numerator, and this denominator comes to the this denominator side. So if you simplify this part, it will become a, this is square, so it will be pi square divided by 8. This minus 1 is as it is. If you simplify this, if you calculate, you will get a gamma is equal to 0.48. This is the proof, or mathematically we are showing the ripple factor value. Next, we have to calculate the efficiency of rectifier. So yeah, I already know the equation. Eta is equal to IDC by RMS whole square, and we have the equation for full wave rectifier IRMS and IDC. Okay, just here also it's simple. Just we have to substitute these two values in this equation and simplify it. Okay, so we have substituted those two values. Here also IMI will get cancelled, and this root 2 is, that's the denominator of the denominator goes to the numerator, and this denominator it comes here. When you simplify this, it become a 8 divided by pi square. If you simplify this, you will get a 0.812. If you want to calculate in terms of percentage, if you just multiply with 100, you will get a 81.2 percentage. So this is the solution for the first problem. Next, we are going to the next problem. That is an AC supply of 230 volt is applied to half wave rectifier through transformer having turns ratio of 10:1. Find DC output voltage and PIV of a diode. PIV means peak inverse voltage. So first see what are the things it is given. So it is given the input voltage of a input of the rectifier, means for the rectifier to 30 volt. Actually it is applied to the transformer. Okay, so the transformer will be having the 10:1 ratio. That means it down converts by 10:1 point. Just simplify, you can easily simplify 230 when down converted into 10:1 times, we'll get the 23 volt. Okay, even we will see it with the equations. So we have to calculate the DC output voltage, that is VDC, and PIV of the diode. So think how we have to proceed. Okay. Let's see with the prerequisites required to solve this problem. So prerequisites are, first we need to know the calculation or the turns ratio of the transformer, because here it is not given the output of the transformer, they are given only the input to the transformer, that is the 230 volt. First we need to understand the output of the transformer. So the equation is N2 by N1, that is the secondary turns to the primary turns equal to the Vs by Vp, means secondary voltage to the primary voltage. Then maximum voltage of peak voltage, Vm is equal to root 2 into Vs. So this is already discussed. It is a root 2 into Vs. When we calculate, we'll get the Vm. Then DC output voltage, VDC. VDC is equal to Vm by pi. Then peak inverse voltage. It's peak inverse equal to Vm. Actually, peak inverse voltage or Vm both equal, but in the peak inverse voltage is only when we connect diode in a reverse bias. So let's solve the problem. First, we know that the transform turns ratio is this equation. We already discussed about it. Then first we are going to simplify this to get the Vs value. N2 by N1 Vp. These three values are already given in the equation. N2 by N1 is 1 by 10. Primary voltage is 230. When you simplify, you will get the 23 volt. Then maximum voltage or the peak voltage will be given like this. Vm is equal to root 2 into Vs. So Vs we already calculated, it's a 23 volt. Vm root 2 into 23. When we calculate this, we get a 32.53 voltage. Then what is one more thing it is asked? The peak inverse voltage. Okay. So DC voltage, sorry. In a DC output voltage, VDC, that is given by the equation Vm by pi. Pm is a 32.53 as we calculated here divided by pi. When you simplify this, you will get a 10.35 voltage as a DC output voltage. Now, the question asked to calculate the PI, peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage is equal to the maximum voltage, that is the 32.53, but when it is connected in a reverse bias condition. So this is the solution for your second problem. Next, move to the third problem. If the applied input voltage to the half wave rectifier circuit is V equal to 50 sin omega t and load resistance is 800 ohm, find the following by considering the internal resistance of the diode is 20 ohm. So in this, you can see they have given the input voltage to the half wave rectifier is this, and the load resistance is given as 800 ohm, and even they have mentioned the internal resistance of the diode. In some problems, they will be saying that the consider the diode as a ideal, then we won't be considering any resistance for that. But in this, they have mentioned the internal resistance of 20 ohm, and it is mentioned to calculate. These are the things. First, IM means maximum current, IDC means a DC current, IRMS means root mean square current, and others is the PAC means AC output power, PDC means DC output power, VDC DC voltage, and it's a eta efficiency. Okay, just think what are the prerequisites required to solve this problem and how we can proceed. Then we will continue. Okay, so let's see the prerequisite required to solve this problem. So in this, since it is asked so many questions, so many points to calculate, we need to remember these all equations to solve. So maximum current IM is given as, so normally from the Ohm's law we know that I is equal to V by R, V is a Vm, R is a, in this it is given the internal resistance of the diode and the load resistance. Both are connected in series, so it is taken as a RF plus RL. This is the equation for calculating the IM. Then comes the DC current, IDC. So IDC equation, it's a Im by pi. Next, so root means square current, that is IRMS. It will be calculated using Im by root. Next, input AC power. So power is equal to I square into R as per your Ohm's law. So I square is the I square RMS and into R is equal to RF plus RL. Then output DC power PDC, that is a I square DC into RL. Here we are calculating the AC power, so we have taken the RMS value of a current. Here we are calculating the DC power, so it is taken as a DC power of a current. Next, DC output voltage, VDC equal to IDC into RL. Then efficiency is equal to output power by input power. Output power is a PDC, DC power. Input power is a PAC, AC power. Okay. So having these things in our mind, even you can easily calculate the all the required data. So this is the solution. Let's go one by one. First, we will see what are the things given. So in this, you can see here, it's a V is equal to 50 sine omega t. So it is in the form of Vm sine omega t. Okay. So this 50 becomes a Vm. So the value Vm become of 50 volt, and internal resistance of the diode is taken as 20 ohm, and the load resistance is a 800 ohm. So coming to the first problem, Im. So Vm by Rf plus Rl, just substitute this value 50 by 20 plus 800 ohm. If we calculate this, it becomes 0.061 amps. If you consider convert into milliamps, it becomes 61 milliamps. Next, IDC. So Im by pi, Im value it is as a 61 milliamps divided by pi. If you calculate, you will get a 19 milliamps. IRMS, its equation Im by root 2. Im is we already calculated, that's a 61 milliamps divided by 2. So we'll get a 30.5 milliamps. So these are the IM, IDC and IRMS value what we have got. Next, we have to calculate the AC power. So AC power equation we already discussed, I square RMS into RF plus RL. Okay. So just we are going to substitute RMS. I square RMS. So even I square it is written that 30.5 by 1000. This is a milliamps. That's why it is written like this. Or even directly you can take 30.5 milliamps square into RF is 20, RL is 800 ohm. So when you simplify this, you will get a 0.763 watts. So next we are going to calculate the DC output power. That's I square DC into RL. So I square, so it is given in milliamps. That is IDC is 19 milliamps. So it is taken as 19 by 19.4 by 1000 because it is in milliamps square into 800. So when you simplify this, you will get a 0.301 watts. So this is about the PAC and PDC. Next we have to calculate the DC voltage. DC voltage is equal to IDC into RL. IDC is 19.4 milliamps, RL equal to 800 ohm. So when you calculate this, you will get a 15.52 watts. Next, efficiency PDC by PAC. PDC we got 0.301 watt and PAC is a 0.763 watt. So when you substitute these two and calculate, you will get a 39.5%. This is the efficiency. So these are the things us to calculate, and we have got the answer for all the problems. Next, we are going to the next fourth problem. So the question is, if the applied input voltage to the half wave rectifier circuit is V is equal to 50 sine 350t, calculate the ripple frequency. So in this, they have given the input voltage to the half wave rectifier, and they asked us to calculate the ripple frequency. So think what are the prerequisites required to solve this problem and how to proceed. So prerequisite is obviously it is asked to calculate the ripple frequency. That means we need to know ripple frequency. Ripple frequency f we have to calculate. So first we need to know omega is equal to 2 pi f. So having this in mind, so 350 omega is equal to 350 rad per second. W is equal to omega is equal to 2 pi f. So you have to simplify this. So in this, it is given as a W pi f equation. That is a, we know that V is equal to Vm sine omega t. This omega is 350, and we know the omega equation. Omega equal to 2 pi f. Okay. So it is omega value given and omega equation. If you calculate by using this, you can calculate the frequency of the ripple frequency half wave rectifier. So 2 pi f equal to 350 f, just 2 pi, send it to that side, then become a denominator. So 350 by 2 pi, you will get a 55.73 hertz. So ripple frequency of the half wave rectifier will be 55.73 hertz. Okay. So this is a solution for this problem. And next question is full wave rectifier uses two diodes with center tap transformer. Transformer secondary RMS voltage from center tap to each end is 50 volt and load resistance is 980 ohm. Here we have to calculate mean load current and RMS value of current. So now we have to first understand what are the things given and what is asked. So in this it is given that secondary RMS voltage from the center tap transformer is 50 volt. It is a voltage RMS voltage. It is a VRMS. VRMS is given as 50 volt and load resistance RL is given as a 9 volt. Now think what are the prerequisites required to solve this. Prerequisites to solve this problem are, so maximum peak voltage equation Vm is equal to Vrms root 2 and maximum output current Im is equal to Vm by Rf plus Rl. Mean load current IDC is equal to 2 Im by pi. Rm is value of a current. Irm is equal to Im by root 2. So these are the prerequisites to solve this problem. So let's solve this. So Vrm is given as a 50 volt and RL is given as a 980 ohm. So we know the equation Vm is equal to Vrm is root 2. So if we calculate 50 into root 2, you get a 70.7 volt. Next we have to calculate the Im maximum current. It's a Vm by Rf plus RL. Vm is a 70.7, Rf plus RL, but it's considered as ideal, so we take it as a 0. RL value is 980 ohm. So when you simplify this, you'll get a 70.7 milliamps. Next, mean load current. That's a IDC. IDC is equal to 2 Im divided by pi. Im value is 2 into 70.7 divided by pi. The output will be 45 milliamps. Next, IRMS. IRMS is equal to Im by root 2. Im value is 70.7 and divided by root 2. When you calculate, you will get a 50 milliamps. So this is a solution for the fifth question. So I hope you understood how to proceed with the problems and what are the formulas we need to remember and how to solve the problems. Okay. So I hope you understood all the problems how to solve. So these are the few questions given to you. Okay. Just I will read out the question. I will read out the question and I will tell you how to proceed, and even I have mentioned the answer here. So you can start solving on your own and just cross check your answer with the given answer. Let's go with the question. The question is a half wave rectifier used to solve, a half wave rectifier used to supply 12 volt DC to a resistive load of 1 kilo ohm, and the diode has a forward resistance of 50 ohm. Calculate the maximum value of AC voltage required at the input. So in this question, just assume that assume the that assume of a rectifier circuit. In this, it has to supply 12 volt. Means the output of the of a rectifier has to be 12 volt, and the load is of 1 kilo ohm, and diode forward resistance means internal resistance is 50 ohm. It's RF, it is RL, and it is a VDC. And calculate the maximum value of AC voltage required at the input. Means it is, what is this? It's a VM. Okay. So normally in the earlier problems, the VM was given and we used to calculate the VDC. But in this, it is given in reverse. VDC is given and they asked us to calculate the VM. So if you remember the equation what we have used earlier, you can easily solve this. Next, move to the next one more problems to solve. That is an AC supply of 240 volt is applied to the half wave rectifier circuit through transformer of turns ratio 6:1. Assume the diode is an ideal one. The load resistance is 500 ohm. So you have to calculate, find DC output voltage. That's a VDC, PIV, maximum power, and average power delivered. So in this question also, they are given the output primary voltage to the transformer. Okay, then it is applied to the half wave rectifier and the transform turns ratio is 6:1 and the load resistance is 500 ohm. So you can see here we have a primary voltage to the transformer, and we have the turns ratio. So by using these things, we can calculate the output of the transformer. Okay, then that will be the input for the half wave rectifier. We'll get the VM, and even they have given the load resistance. RL is given. So now we have the VM. By calculating this, we'll get the VM. So we have the equation for finding the VDC using the VM. So DC voltage can be calculated. VDC and VM equation you have to use. Then PIV, we know that the VM equal to the PIV when it is connected in the reverse bias condition. So you will get easily PIV. Then maximum power. So to calculate the maximum power, what you need to remember is, so power is equal to, we know that either you can use V into I or V square by R, I square into R. So we have a multiple equations to calculate the power. So here it is asked to the maximum power. That means what? You should use the maximum voltage. And you have the voltage here and we have the resistance. We have V and R. So which equation we have to use to calculate the maximum power? V square by R, because we have a V from this equation, means by converting this we have a V and we have a R. So if we calculate that V maximum V square by R, V is the VM here, because we have the VM. V square M by R will get this average power delivered. To calculate the average power, we need to use the, once again, the same equation, V square by R, but in this voltage you have to use the VDC, because it is also the average, not the maximum. Maximum is here. So here you will be using the voltage as VM voltage, and here will be VDC voltage. And the equation remains the same, that is a V square by R. If you calculate, you will get the power. So try to solve this. It is very easy to solve, and even you will get an answer. Just cross check with the answers provided here. Okay, fine. Next, moving to the next question. In a bridge rectifier circuit consisting of ideal diodes, the primary of the power transformer is connected to a main supply of 230 volt, 50 hertz, assuming primary to secondary turns ratio to be 10:1. Find DC output voltage across a load resistor of 1 kilo ohm. Second, peak inverse voltage. Third one is the output frequency. So in this you can see, in a bridge rectifier circuit consisting of ideal diodes, means diode is taken as ideal, means there is no any internal resistance has to consider. Then primary to the transformer is 230, and so as we said about the previous problem also, input to the transformer is given and turns ratio is given. So by using the turns ratio, we can easily calculate the output of the transformer that become the input to your bridge rectifier. So you can calculate the VM. So here it is asked, the VDC is asked with giving the load resistance. We have the VM here, and we for VM using the VDC equal to VDC and VM equation, you can solve the this. You can calculate the VDC. Even you have the RL. Okay. So prerequisite for this is equation of VDC. Next, peak inverse voltage. So you know that VM, by using the VM, you can mention the peak inverse voltage. The output frequency. So F, so frequency, here you need to remember the input frequency to the rectifier is 50 hertz. So we already discussed earlier only, in the bridge rectifier the output will be double the input frequency. It means for single cycle the output will be having the two cycles, two half cycles. So frequency will be double. So you can easily calculate this. Okay. So this is your third problems to solve. Next we'll go through some question banks. Okay. So you need to answer this. Okay. So first one, for half wave or a full wave rectifier, the peak inverse voltage is always greater than the input voltage, smaller than the input voltage, equal to the input voltage, or greater than the input voltage for full wave rectifier and smaller for the half wave rectifier. So it is regarding the peak inverse voltage. So I already told you, peak inverse voltage means it is a maximum voltage applied to the diode in a reverse bias condition. Okay. So we solved some problems on this. So it is in peak inverse voltage, it is equal to VM. So C is the correct answer, equal to the input voltage. But actually it will be connected in a, when it is connected in a reverse bias condition. Okay. Next question is, the maximum efficiency of a half wave rectifier is. Even we solve this problem. I hope. Sorry, we have solved for the full wave. We have, if we calculate this using the efficiency equation, you will get the answer. Okay. If we calculate, you can see that it is a 40.6. Okay, that is the efficiency of the half wave rectifier. Next, third question is the ripple frequency of a center tapped full wave rectifier is. So ripple frequency is asking. So frequency of center tapped full wave. I told you for full wave, it will be having the double the input frequency. Means f is, if the f is the input frequency, output will be double, because for each one cycle it will be having the two half cycles. So it will be 2f. So 2f is a right answer. Next, coming to the one more question. The ripple factor of a full wave bridge rectifier. So it is ripple factor asked. You need to, I think we have solved this problem in this session only. So that is a 0.482. Okay. So this is the answer. Next, going to the fifth question. In the center tap full wave rectifier, if a VM is the peak voltage between center tap and one end of the secondary, the maximum voltage coming across the reverse bias diode is. So VM, so VM peak voltage between the center tap, VM is given and maximum voltage across the reverse bias is asked. Okay. Okay. Next question is, in a center tap full wave rectifier, if VM is a peak voltage between the center tap and one end of the one end of the secondary, the maximum voltage coming across the reverse bias diode is, it's a full wave rectifier, center tap full wave rectifier. To the one each diode, it will be 2 VM. Okay. So next question is, if the line frequency is 25 Hz, the output frequency of the bridge rectifier. So once again, it's related to the frequency. So if the input frequency is 25 Hz, the output will be double. So it comes as a 50 Hz. Okay, next question. The bridge rectifier is preferred to an ordinary two diode full wave rectifier because. So it is asking the reason. What is the reason for preferring the bridge rectifier over the ordinary two diode full wave rectifier? So options given as, it needs much smaller transformer for the same output, and one more option, no center tap required. Third one, less PIV rating per diode. Fourth one is all the above. See, so first option is given as it needs much smaller transformer for the same output. So this is also correct, because normally bridge rectifier requires a smaller transformer, but whereas in center tap we need to have the bigger one. And even center tap also not required. This is also true. And even it uses the less PIV rating diode. So it's clearly says that all three are correct. So the option fourth one is the correct. All of the above. Next, coming to the eighth one, the basic reason why a full wave rectifier has a twice the efficiency of a half wave rectifier. So, so efficiency is double compared to half wave. Full wave has a double the efficiency. What is the main reason? It makes use of a transformer. Next, its ripple factor is much less. Third one, it utilizes both half cycle of the input. Fourth one, its output frequency is double the line frequency. So now you might have also understood what the output, because it's very easy to understand because it utilizes both the half cycles. In the half wave, it utilizes only one half cycle, hence it is named as half wave rectifier. In a full wave, it will be using the both half, positive and negative half. So obviously, it will be having the higher efficiency. So correct answer is 8C. Okay. So these are the some questions we have discussed. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you. Hello everyone. Myself Kiran Karkuntla, lecturer, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today we are going to discuss about problems on rectifiers. Before going to the problems, we are going to revise the topics covered in the previous class.